Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today is early access for the new set, Magic the Gathering Cross Lord of the Rings. It's Universe Beyond, and thanks to Wizards, I have early access. I get to play the set before it releases, so we are going to be testing out a bunch of the new cards. So this set is non-standard legal, so on Arena, it's legal in Alchemy and Historic, as well as Historic Brawl. We're going to be playing, the play queue is Alchemy, so we will be playing that format. Going to try to do some direct challenges later tonight to play either Historic Brawl or some Historic itself to demonstrate some of the cards there as well. So we are live on YouTube today, and we're going to be testing out a bunch of different decks. I have a Grixis Sauron the Dark Lord deck that's already been pre-recorded and will be up on YouTube very shortly. But we will be going through a 5-color Jodah legendary, and I want to build around Aragorn the Uniter. So 4-color, 4-color, 4 mana, 5/5. And whenever you cast a white spell, you get a human soldier. Whenever you cast a blue spell, you scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, you get to bolt an opponent's face. Whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/4. So playing a bunch of multicolor spells. Because we're multicolor, we get to kind of cascade with Jodah and to cast some more free stuff. This says exile, you may cast, so it is a cast spell, so you get to trigger Aragorn as well. We also got this delighted little halfling here, a 1 mana, 1/2, that can just tap to add a colorless, but also can tap to add mana of any color to cast legendary spells, and they can't be countered. So it helps us fix our mana and ramp. We have Frodo, Sauron's Bane, 1 mana, 1/2, that you can pay 2 mana, becomes a 2/3 with lifelink, and then for 3 mana, you get to make it have so basically if it deals damage and they've been tempted by the ring 4 times, which is kind of like a dungeon, they lose the game. So it's basically a 1 mana that I can upgrade into a 2/3 with lifelink if needed. Rona's in here to just help us filter our draws. We have a lot of legendaries, so discard. Dennick, we have Melira to protect creatures. So if something dies, we can bring it back. And then we have Pippin, Guard of the Citadel, 2 mana, 2/2, Vigilance Ward, and then another target creature gains protection from the card type of your choice till end of turn. So this is kind of a different take on Skrelv. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. We have Glowin, Dwarf Emissary, 3 mana, 3/3. So everything in this deck's legendary. Except the Delighted Halfling. So this is whenever you cast a historic spell, which is a legendary, you get to create a treasure, and you can do it once per turn. Go doesn't really matter because we are one-on-one. It's more of a commander mechanic. We have Emar, Marshal of Ronan. 4 mana, 4/4 haste. Whenever 1 or more attacking legendary creatures you control die, and tap all creatures you control. After this, you get an additional combat step, so kind of alpha kill. We have Gandalf the White, basically 5 mana, 4/5 flash, and then you can cast legendary spells and artifacts as though they had flash, so we can flash in our stuff. And then if a legendary permanent or artifact enter the battlefield or leaving the battlefield to cause a triggered ability of a permanent, you get to trigger an additional time. So we get to trigger the cast trigger for Aragorn and get 2 casts out of it. And then Aragorn and Arwen Wed, 6 mana, 3/6 vigilance. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get to put a counter on each creature you control, and you gain life. The mana base is clearly a well-oiled machine. I threw together a bunch of duels. Secluded Courtyard, we're mainly humans. Plaza of Heroes for the legendaries. And then we also have some of the dual lands that we have with like a Gonjo and Otawara. So we'll give this a shot. We've already played, like I said, the Sauron deck. I have blue-white human tokens with the new legendary enchantment that gives like a buff, and then we'll play out a bunch of new decks today, try out a bunch of ideas. This set's actually quite hard to brew in, I've been finding. There's a lot of legendary creatures, so like my default's to just not say let's just build legendary tribal every time. In this case, playing Jodah in a 5-color deck makes sense, but trying to avoid just, here's Esper Legends, add 2 cards or something like that. I did lose to an equipment deck from John Lex Games that was playing the new Samwise, I think, that auto-equips, and then they had both the swords, so they had protection from my deck. which really hurt. Then I lost to CGB on a Esper kind of legendary aristocrat style brew that had Radadrabic and some of the new legends in there. The play queue does take a little bit of time, so I apologize. So we'll do this. Let me know if there's in the chat if there's any other decks or kind of cards you'd like to see. The new 6-mana Sauron was really good. I tried the 5-mana Sauron in the deck. It was... the ability is good. The deck that I put it in was not good. It ended up being that we didn't really have much to reanimate it. I put it into like a Grixis mid shell that was looking to kind of accelerate with Crucias into Sauron the Dark Lord. So here, I'm probably just going to... so I can name human. So if I name halfling citizen, it doesn't cast either of these anyways, so we're just going to go like this. I could just go halfling and then play this. Yeah, oh sorry, it's Frodo, not a thing. So Frodo auto-equips, which is powerful. So target creature gains choice of first strike or vigilance. So that creature is equipped against first strike and vigilance. Equip costs 1 less. So let's go first look at the new Aragorn. Next turn I can Melira. Can cast both and then give it pump effect to hit for 5. The lifelink on this will be good afterwards, just giving it +4/4. Ceradoc or another creature 2 or less enters battlefield, create a halfling, tap 2 other halflings, gets lifelink till end of turn. So, no attacks from the opponent. So here, because I'm not gonna attack this turn, I don't think we want Smeargle. Creature died under your control this turn, the ring tempts you. Maybe we do. Let's try that out. It gives me the buff because it's green as well. This lets me set up the Seachrome Coast, because I'm not going to attack in. I mean, I could just boink them for 9. So all these multicolor spells plays really nice. Melira, we can choose another artifact or creature. When it's put in the graveyard, we return to the battlefield under our control. Yeah, so this is the spell we'll be playing next game. Okay, so Scroll for unblockable is going to be kind of annoying. So we'll probably... just soak up 4 damage here. So we'll just take this damage, or like take the effect. Smeargle will make this a 6/6. You are halfling. So let's name halfling here. This will gain us life. Hey, Grim Joe. Yeah, unfortunately, the format for today is alchemy. So we could only play what's in front of us. So I'm attacking with this because I want a creature to die under my control. So that way the ring tempts me. So the ring tempting is going to be a kind of like a dungeon style effect where we get some value. So we're going to double block there. So I think I want to deal... well, I messed that up. Not what I meant to do, but clicked through that a little too fast. So this is... the first mode is... the ring bearer can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. So let's do it here. Kind of go from there. Yeah, there's a few cards. Like this might see play in Hammer Time. There's the Samwise Baggins that combos with the Cauldron Familiar. Cyan, so early access is invite for content creators, so like YouTubers, Twitchers, that play. So it's usually done each set before the new set comes out, usually 2-3 days. It's to kind of demo the new set. Aragon's been pretty good. Okay, so we can Aragon the Aragon. This can make me another token. This can just attack in. I think we're just gonna Dennick here. This lets me scry with the backside. Okay, we got Jodah. I do want Jodah. So we can poke in for 1 here. Again, I'm throwing these tokens away because I want the ring to tempt me. The next mode of the ring tempts. Draw a card, discard a card. So it gives us looting ability. And this also lets us ramp. So the ring bearer... I'm going to do it here instead. The reason being is I want the mana from next turn. And now I can draw a card, so this gives me the Jodah mana. So this actually plays pretty nice, these two, because you're milling your opponent. So Bilbo's, as long as it's equipped, creature has hexproof and can't be blocked. Whenever it attacks, you draw a card and lose a life. This equipment is what bet me last time. But next turn with Jodah should be enough to just alpha strike in. So this will trigger like every mode of Jodah or Aragorn, which is nice. Alright, let's go. Spin to win, Jodah time. So attack, 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 attack. Discard Aragorn. We get the thing. And opponent is dead. So like, you could swarm the board. I'm wondering even like an Aragorn Monastery Mentor spells deck, because you could just make a bunch of tokens. But then, that's interesting. If you can, the mana is really bad though. Like the way we're able to achieve 4 color here is because we're playing like the ramp creature, and then in a spells deck, it's not going to be as good. We'll run each deck for about 30 to 45 minutes. See how they play out. So we got the Halfling on one, which is good, so we'll keep. Because what I could do is Crucias, discard Aragorn. You get the value there. I should have played Seachrome Coast, because if I draw another one, then it's pretty bad. Can I tap? Okay, so red, white, black. Okay, so I pretty much always get Jodah. There's one instance where I can't. So we'll try it out and see how it goes. Antique Collector. I should have done Dennick. It would have given me more power. Yeah, I missed out. Not 4 points or 2 points of damage. So I can do another Jodah. We get some value off that, which is still pretty good. Hey, Tyler. Use spells that make treasure tokens. That's a good call. I'm going to take a look at that after. Because I want to do the Dimir draw 2 with the Orcish one that like pings and amasses. So Lord of the Rings is not standard legal. It is only alchemy and historic brawl. So it won't change that set. Otherwise, Reprieve, the 2 mana kind of remand adjacent card, would be the one that would be closest to it. Boo, Dennick into Dennick. That's not what I wanted. I mean, I gotta block everything here. Literally, we hit the one of other version of the card. So not Aragorn this time, but Jodah kind of paying off. This looks to be like a food deck. Hey, Timrance. Well, they always have the summer set now. It's been 2 years now. So the design of these Universe Beyond are not real. They're more commander focused. So if you look at a lot of the mechanics, they're not really suited for traditional constructed. There's a lot of legendary stuff like that. It's very legendary focused. That's one like nuance when trying to build decks. It's a little tough. But it's the same with Baldur's Gate last year. It was non-standard. Orcish. Remind me once this game's done, I'll show. The Orcish, the 2 mana flash when an opponent draws a second card per turn, they get pinged and you get to amass, is something I would maybe try out. Okay, hand looks decent. Turn 3 Aragorn. You are human. The fact that this is human too. Alright, we got a golem. Give me a sec. We'll cover golem in a sec. So when it leaves the battlefield, the ring tempts you. You can sacrifice another creature, return golem from your graveyard to your hand. 40k or not, because it was commander only. This is like the first set that'll be modern. I think... No, Legacy was only the one. So Nazgul, when enters battlefield, ring tempts you, put one... Okay, so it has unblockable. So let's decide how we want to play this turn. So I can go Crucias. And then I can go Halfling. You're not supposed to concede. I think they might be Legacy. Aren't commander cards legal in Legacy? Timorance, today, so the only queue is Alchemy Best of One. I'm going to arrange this evening when some of the other content creators are on to try to do some historic gameplay. The card that I was saying for the Rakdos deck that we were trying out, so I was trying out like a Grixis version. This card's pretty good as a top-end card. It might be too slow for historic, but Orcish Bowmasters. So think like if your opponent plays Teferi, they draw their second card per turn. You can flash it in, it gets to ping stuff, and then it makes you like progressively bigger. So you kind of play something like that. So we were trying it out with like Orcish Bowmaster and Fairy Mastermind to draw cards, along with Academy Lore Master. The only problem, like you start splitting the queue. So like we see that already with like the different queues. Like when I do like meta stats and stuff, sometimes it's hard to pull up everything. All right, the one Jame. Halfling. We got Jodah that we can get out, so I think it's good. So turn 3 Jodah. Maybe. Turn 4. Dorothea. So I can cast a second halfling, and then cast Jodah. Looks to be on like spirits. Okay, so cast you. Mana's awful this game. But Jodah next turn. Okay, hit another land, it's not too bad, but with NMR, I get to get potentially another combat. It's fun for like the when they do like special events and stuff. What do you do? Whenever it or another spell becomes target of spell, it phases out. Whenever or another spirit you control phases in, create a 1/1 spirit. Let's gain some life. It might have been right to go Pippin first. Just because Jodah comes. But if I can attack next turn with this, it'll be good. So depending on how they play it out, I don't know how much removal they have. Dorothea, whenever this creature attacks, create a 4/4 spirit token. What you doing, James? What you saying? Hallowed Haunting. So that triggers. Interesting. So that phases out. Okay, so we got Pippin. And then I have access to Otawara. So I can bounce their thing. Almost lethal. Almost lethal. Jodah's putting in the work. So they got a spirit here. See what they target. So I could Otawara a blocker out of the way as well. Which we might do. I want to see how they play this, if they attack in or anything. Okay, so their turn. Let's get rid of the 6/6 so they don't get the value. So get Frodo here. So this, let's do blue. I got a treasure here. I get another copy of Frodo. We were hoping to hit something bigger. So we gain a bunch of life here. And James has had enough. Assemble the Gatewatch, Lord of the Rings style. Yeah, Control's an interesting kind of way to approach the meta. With like Atraxas going around, like you remove the element, like Planeswalkers are playable now. Like, I don't know how long you've been playing, but if you were around during the standard where it was blue-white control and the win condition was Elixir of Immortality, where you just keep shuffling 5 cards into your library over and over again, and you just wait for your opponent to mill. That was like crazy patience, or Nephalia Drownyard mill your opponent out standard. That's when I played a lot of standard. Things were quite slow back then to get games done. The old 1-0 win. I'll probably do one more of this, see how it plays out. Alright. John again. So John was on the equipment deck. We'll see if he's still on it or if he switched up. Okay, so no Lord on 1. I think we mulligan this hand. Okay, this hand's much better. I think I'm gonna put Pippin back. I could cast Rona off of the Plaza or off of this. Yeah, invoke even Bankbuster and Fabled that you don't have to do like 3. Hey, we got Aragorn. So we'll just pass turn. So Antiques Collector, when this creature dies, shuffle it into its library. If you do investigate, it can't be blocked with creatures with power 2 or less. So this might be a Legolas deck with like target effects. So I think we just pass the turn. I can flash in Gandalf here. So there's a lot of text. What do you do? Enters a battlefield, or another non-token creature enters a battlefield under control. Look at the X cards, where X is mana value, reveal a card. Okay, so it's just like card advantage. See if we can find Jodah. Okay, so we got Frodo. So that's plus 4/4. Because now we can kind of just always fake like we have something. I can also instant speed untap my Rona. And if they want to chump block, then I get them that way too. I actually get 2 pumps, so we might just do it anyways. Oh, actually, no, you don't. I guess it's permanent or artifact entering the battlefield. So this is a cast, it's not an ETB, so doesn't quite work the way we want. So I guess the question, do I want to loot here or just keep Frodo? Probably just keep Frodo. I can flash it in. Don't have access to black mana, but I can do it with the blue mana, or it's double white. That makes me 1 more token to go pretty wide on their board, because if they just go Vorinclex here. Let's just pass. Okay, Crucias will hit him for 3 in the face. Oh no, I don't have black mana. Oops. Well, that was a mistake a couple different ways. You don't produce black mana. Not the tightest right now. We're playing with new cards. This halfling's been really good. Like, going Abzan might be a really reasonable approach too. John's missing lands, which kind of hurts. What are they? They're doing something big. Let's Lightning Helix then. Alright.